Okay, folks, so I have put up for you, I want to put this video up just to go through the sea ice data, because again, you're going to have more data today and I want to make sure you're happy. So this first one, you just had to decide where there will be areas of ice. It was a personal choice, and we'll go back to whether you were right or wrong in a minute. For the next question, it wondered where would you expect in the southern hemisphere, and where would it be? And yeah, you would find it in Antarctica. The South Pole would be covered in ice. It then asked you to have a look at this picture and decide what is what. So if I was doing this, I would have filled in my little bits. So this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, 6, and this is 8. So it's asking you to decide then from this picture where the hell is the ice and what is your percentage. So in my head, 1, 3, and 8 are around 100%. They're really, really high. And 4 is probably maybe between 20 and 30% for area 4. So that's what this was looking for. And then it said areas 2 and 3. So they're the same distance from the North Pole. They have different amounts of ice. Why is that the case? So the reason is it's that thing called the Gulf Stream. So we've said that the Gulf Stream is this warm current that comes down from the Gulf of Mexico. It can be called the North Atlantic Drift. It can be called the North Atlantic Current. There's a whole load of different things it can be called. Let us find a green pen. So what's happening is this North Atlantic Drift is warmer here. I don't know why this won't work for me now. Is warmer in this area here. And that's why there's going to be no ice present. So the sea ice concentration is not similar. And the reason being is 2 is affected by the North Atlantic Drift, Gulf Stream, whatever you want to carry it. There's warmer water at 2. Okay, so next question then. You had to compare your expectations. Did you find areas in the things you expected? So again, that's personal choice, but we found ice in 1, 3, 4, and 8. So if you didn't match that, then maybe be able to have a reason for why. So then we have satellites. What's the good thing about satellites? Well, they monitor remote locations. So that's brilliant because you can't always have people on the ice shelf. The other good thing about them is they'll use a whole load of different sensors. So they can measure things that might not be able to be measured otherwise. They can work at night, and they can work in bad weather conditions, clouds, that maybe humans wouldn't be able to do. So that's one of the real advantages of them. So then this was, in these questions, the first ones for 5 were all about your opinion. Do you expect the sea ice to change within the year? And the reality is yes, you should have, because there are seasons within a year, so it's going to be warmer at different times. In what months do you expect to find the least sea ice? So again, that's personal choice, but usually it'll be one of the summer months, possibly, and it will be winter will be the most. Do you expect the sea ice extent to change over the years? And the reality is yes, you do, because we now know of global warming. So if the earth is getting warmer, there's going to be less sea ice potentially, so it's going to change. So here you had to have a look at these graphs, and you had to compare the ice, or describe the sea ice extent over the year. So you're looking at the color of them as well. So if they're all pure white, very little blue, then there's lots of sea ice. So in my head, their sea ice looks like it is increasing between January to April. So January to April, there's an increase. There's a decrease in July. And while again there looks like there is little sea ice in August or in October, in reality over here this ice is less patchy. There's more blue. It's not as intense white. So the ice is increasing again in October, and increases even more in December. Okay, so you're looking at the color and you're looking at how much space the ice is taking up. Then the question, what months do you find the least sea ice? And I think that is in July, again, for the intensity of the color in there versus October. So while it looks spread out in July, there is a lot less of it in terms of intensity. And the most sea ice in this one, I think, looks like it's in January. Now, this then asked you to compare the sea ice over the years, and the green line is a mean line, an average of your data. So in the top graph, describe the annual sea ice extent for 2018 and compare it to the red line. So in reality, what this is looking for is that there is an increase in the ice up to March. There is a decrease in the ice to September. And there is an increase again to December. Okay, so if you look at this top graph, there is the increase to March, there's a decrease to September, and an increase again to December. Is there more or less sea ice in 2018 compared to the mean? So the 2018, there is less sea ice down here in the green line compared to the mean of the overall. So there's less sea ice. Now in the bottom graph, what is happening to the sea ice extent from 93 to 28? Is it increasing or decreasing? So the red line is the actual data that was collected, and this black line is the trend. What is the trend? So the trend is it is decreasing over time because the line is going down. And there is less ice in 2018 than in earlier years. Okay, our next question then is your analysis of the seasonal changes and changes for different years similar to your expectations. So maybe or maybe not. And then implications for Earth's climate and human activities if all the ice were to be lost. So in terms of our climate, it's going to be bad because there's going to be an increase in flooding in low-lying areas. In terms of human activities, then good in that you can have increase in shipping. Things will get there faster because they don't have to go around the world. They can just go over the top. But in terms of then Earth's climate, you could say here, if you're shipping, you're now using less fuel, so less greenhouse gases, so that's a positive. But you won't be traveling to see polar bears because polar bears won't have any homes, so there'll be a hit for tourism. And that is that.